Hello, and we've had great excitement in our household this week because the Great British Sewing Bee has returned. So the beautiful wrap dress that was made this week, I did take inspiration from that and create a card. This is the start of it, and I've got my adorable scoreable and an A4 sheet of card. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score it at 4 inches. I'm on the inch side because the 4 inches happen to work better than the centimetres. So I've made my first score. Just going to move it over so that the score line is right on the edge. Butt it up against the top so I know it's straight, and make a second line at 4 inches. So I now have 2 lines in my card, and I'm going to fold them round. So I'm just measuring 3 inches down, and I'm just going to make a little notch there with my craft knife. And then I'm going to line up this corner here with the notch that I made, and I'm going to cut. So I'm going to now make a second notch on the other side. So there is, you can see it already looks a bit like a wrap dress. I want to add some pattern on the bottom of my design. I'm going to put some scrap paper down on the bottom. I'm going to put some scrap paper on the inside. So now I know that I'm only going to get this part of my card. I shouldn't in theory get any on the back. I'm going to place my stencil. Now I'm going to place it here at the bottom. It goes slightly below it, so the design will actually start at the edge of the paper, not the edge of the stencil. And then I'm going to put some low tack tape to hold it all in place. So I'm going to be using the metallic gilding polish, which comes with this handy little sponge. So I've wet the sponge. You can just use it to go over the areas that you want. Take off the stencil, and I'm just going to let that one dry before I do the next one. So it's got a V. You're going to see the inside of the card just here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it colourful. So I'm just going to run it up. So the next thing we need to do is add stencils of our little flowers. The other thing you also need to bear in mind is that this is going to have a belt around the middle of it. So ideally you don't really want to have any of these in the middle. So I'm just going to put one here. I'm going to add a bit of trim. What was so dramatic about the wrap dress in the Sewing Bee was the black trim around the edge. Now we can start adding our flowers. So I'm going to be using silicone glue because I want them to be raised up, and I think this gap here isn't quite big enough for a foam pad. This is the finished card, and you can see I've added little pearl details to the middle of the flowers, and I have also made this little sash. And when you fold it up, I added some more flowers this side, and they've been put on flat so that they won't be any problem on the inside. And then you just fold it up, slide on the sash, and there's your finished card.